Welcome to the Dreamit Dose. Every year we talk to founders who complain that their target customers just don't get it. Their industry is broken, and the few customers that do move forward do so at a glacial pace. If this is you, it might be time to stop selling your secret sauce, aka your software, and instead compete against your target customer. That may sound crazy, but sometimes it's the real opportunity or the only opportunity. You just need to know how and when. Let's dive in. Dreamit Ventures has been investing in great early-stage startups for over a decade. The Dreamit Dose allows us to share best practices to help even more founders. Tell us about your great startup using the links below. So, who does this apply to? We often see this with startups that have a SaaS software solution. In that software, they've baked in a ton of smarts, their IP or intellectual property, that can help streamline their target customer's business. They've got tremendous out-of-box thinking bottled up into the software that they're trying to sell to customers to help them streamline and modernize their operations. The startup solution can help customers by increasing productivity, decreasing costs, delivering a better product or service, increasing revenue, or possibly all five. Overall, if properly implemented, their customers will have an extremely high ROI that can be a real game changer. So what's the problem and when does it occur? Often we see B2B startups selling to typically older, established companies. Their target customers are slow-moving and set in their ways. Their customers have enormous inertia to stay with the status quo and not upset the apple cart with new solutions. In these target customers, there's a lot of middle management they're trying to sell to. The problem is these middle managers don't have the authority and social capital to make the sweeping changes needed to take true advantage of the software solution. Sometimes the amount of change needed is so great, their target customers just can't make that big a change. So let's bring this back to you. Your sales cycle drags on. You may get some opportunities for pilots here and there, and those go fairly well. But your target customers are rarely pulling the trigger on a full purchase, and you're left scratching your head thinking, this is such a no-brainer. How are they not moving forward? So you think to yourself, you know what? I could be better at this business than they are. If you find yourself facing this situation, here's your litmus test for verification. So you're selling a solution, have a very clear value prop, you're selling into older established companies, pilots and or trials go well, but they rarely convert to purchase, sales cycles just keep dragging, and you genuinely feel you could be better at the business than your target customers. If all of these points ring true, here's what I want you to think seriously about doing. Pivot your company and stop selling your secret sauce to others who really don't want to or can't change. Instead, turn off your software sales and use your software, your secret sauce, your intellectual property IP as your company's proprietary OS. So you build a new, modern, innovative company based on your software to compete against your target customer who's not buying from you anyway. This pivot to compete against your customers may be your best and or only option. We've talked about when you should do this, but let's talk about the challenges you'll face. Most likely your target customers have a strong brand, established customer base, strong financial footing, solid distribution, and more, all of which you have little to none of. So this is a major pivot and not for the faint of heart. You'll need to put some serious thought into this, but look at it this way. You can spend the next 12 to 18 months gaining little to no traction or spending that time to pull off a massive pivot. You need to think hard about how you're going to acquire customers that were previously going to your old target customers, now known as the competition. How are you going to get brand recognition and distribution? And how can you do this over time that will be cost effective? There are a lot of ways to beat your new competition by being clever in how you do things. You need to turn lemons into lemonade, turn challenges into opportunities. Important to keep in mind, you don't always win by just having the best product. Maybe you can have a new and fresh approach to pricing, your overall business model, distribution, or some other facet. Make sure to check out our dose on being clever on more than one axis to help stimulate your thinking here. Now, let me share some examples to help further the thinking. Starbucks started in the 1970s as a supplier selling coffee and equipment to others, but they saw a bigger opportunity in being the destination and look where they are now. Imagine if Airbnb started by trying to sell a software solution to hotels, trying to convince them to sell private rooms and homes. So instead of Airbnb building a marketplace and global powerhouse, they just sold software on a SaaS basis to enable hotels to sell a new asset class. How do you think that would have gone? Just imagine how quickly Hilton, Marriott, and Hyatt would have jumped on that SaaS software. Not. Or what if Uber had started by trying to sell a new type of software to taxi companies so they could help them streamline their taxi business instead of building, Uber? My point is, we run into startups all the time that are doing just this. Instead of being the provider, they're trying to sell a highly innovative software solution to a target customer where the change needed is just too great. Okay, that's it. That's how and when you can start thinking about pivoting from selling to your customers to competing against them. First, you've bottled up your smarts, your IP, as software. Second, you've been trying to sell it as a SaaS solution and it's very slow going. Third, you're selling into older companies established in their ways and not keen to change. Fourth, you genuinely feel that you could do a better job of the business than your target customers. Fifth, you decide to pivot and turn off software sales. And finally, sixth, you win by using your software, your secret sauce, your IP as your company's proprietary OS. Instead of selling your key differentiator, you keep it to yourself and use it as your proprietary differentiator that sets you apart from your competitors. You know them. They used to be your target customer. That's it. That's your Dreamit Dose. Please leave your questions in the comments section. If you found this video valuable, please like and subscribe. We have a lot more coming. To see all of our doses, go to dreamit.com/dose. See you next time. Starbucks started in the 1970s as supply that they're trying to sell to customers to help them streamline and modernize their operation. We can go to Jaime's after this. Sorry, I got so distracted by that. I was like, oh, that's going to go in the things. We're going to put a commercial for Jaime's in the outtakes.